out on the track.
Good afternoon, y'all. During this time, I'd like to give a special shout out to all our sponsors, the Sadaka Trust Foundation, People of Poison, and the House of Heat. We appreciate everything that y'all do for the hot seat. See y'all till next time. What's up, y'all? This is YK Soup, and we back on the hot seat with another classic interview in the making. Today, we have a very special guest with us. This individual has been a trailblazer for change and a real pillar in the community. One of the things that I admire the most is that she don't just talk about it, but she be about it. Really in the field, boots on the ground, touching the people and advocating for the ones that may struggle to advocate for themselves. She's a woman of God, a community organizer, a philanthropist, a public speaker, an influencer, a businesswoman, a mother, and a leader. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all should already know, but if you don't know, Englewood Barbie! Thank you for coming on the show. How you feeling?
I'm tired.
Tired?
Yeah.
You a hard worker, so I ain't surprised. No problem at all. Well, let's dig in and get into it. First things first, I'd like to ask, how was your upbringing and what was it like for you growing up in Chicago?
Damn, you don't just jump in just like that, huh?
Hey.
Snatch the Band-Aid right off.
Well,
I consider myself very misunderstood as a kid.
okay.
I was very angry because of a lot of things that was going on around me that the people that were in place to protect me refused to see.
Understood.
So it just kind of made me hate being a kid.
Okay.
Like I couldn't wait to grow up so I could run shit the right way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I could give people what I knew I needed as a kid and make it easy for them to get it. So, I mean, I went through being left at a police station at 18 months by my mother, to going into group homes and residential homes, foster homes, to experiencing a lot of different things in there that I had no control over. And not really just being able to have the voice that I felt like I needed back then to make stuff stop. I was a runaway, whatever, anything bad you could think of, besides a little, because I wasn't outside. I wasn't outside like that.
Okay.
I was on run, but I wasn't running. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Being a kid was hard. Being an adult is a lot easier for me.
So, as a kid, because we all go through things, is there anything like fun or positive that you remember? Was you a kid that went to the rink? Did you like to go to the park? Was there games that you like to play? Was there sports that you like on the positive side of things? Is there anything when you think back that you like, okay, I had fun doing that, or I miss those good times?
Yeah, I miss climbing trees.
There we go. There we go.
I used to climb trees. I used to climb on top of the roof. I used to drop marbles in the roof.
Okay.
Like in the gutter. So like when my daddy cleaned the gutter, like they would like pop them like. Oh, I would like peel the roof off and like sling it. So when he go check the roof, he would see like. I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Okay.
That was like my rebellion against, you know.
Yeah, you know.
And like you can't come get me on no tree.
And I ain't gonna lie, I was a tree climber too, but I was a heavy little shorty, so I done broke a branch, hurt my elbow, all that. But I
the last time I tried to climb a tree, I was trying to show my kids. I literally took them to the same park,
to the same
tree.
Yeah.
And I told my son, like, baby, I used to get in here.
You hear
He
me?
like, I bet you can't get in there now. So I had my little brother with me. It's me, my little brother, my daughter. And I'm like, Chris, record this. I'm finna climb in this tree.
And so,
as soon as I got in the tree, they started shooting. Mind you, my brother never stopped recording. That's what made the video so crazy.
yeah.
Like, I'm in the tree trying to jump out the tree, and we like break off running.
I'm out of that.
And I'm telling my brother, like, give me my phone. Like, I'm like, nigga, you still recording. So then I asked my baby, I'm like, y'all good? How y'all feel? My son was like, I feel cool now. Like, bro, do you understand like how crazy that was for a 6-year-old boy to be in the park having the time of his life with his mother,
With his mom.
and his sister and his uncle, and then they started shooting. And as soon as we get in the car, I asked him how he feeling. He's supposed to still be shook up. But at even 6 years old, he was already desensitized.
Yeah.
So it was just like, we just rode off like nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
And it's like, now today, that's like, it's like second nature to us. If they start shooting right now, nobody in here gonna drop for cover. We gonna be like, damn, that sound like a man. Yeah, that sound like a whole man. That sound like it's right here. Like, damn, that might be in the building. We not gonna be freaking out like, we gonna be trying to figure out what type of gun it was, how close is it, and we gonna go right on with our regular life. That's crazy.
And that's the truth, though, and it's sad that it's a social norm for us, you know. But that's our reality, and you know, sometimes you can't control the cards that you dealt. But being able to push forward and being strong in them type of situations do lead to some positivity within in the future, from my opinion. You know, because it's like we don't got thin skin. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not easily frightened by the things that would frighten the average person, which is low-key an issue, but it's about how you move forward and how you grow.
High key. We're not gonna minimize those type of issues. That's the problem.
I think when I say low-key, I mean like the agenda, the way that it was implemented. When we can get to talking about the government and food droughts and the different things that are seeming to be low-key that go over the average person's head, but it's a high-key situation. So let me make sure that I elaborate on that. When I say low-key, it's not to minimize what we're talking about. I'm a third-dimensional thinker. Me and my homies say that all the time. When something comes up, you got one dimension to look at it, you got 2, you got 3, you got 4, you got 5. It's all about depth, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely concur with what you're saying. But let's segue a little bit. What high school did you go to, right? And I already asked what were some of your interests as a child, but do you feel like any goals that you had as a child you're fulfilling now?
I didn't have any goals as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't looking, like, you know, like I didn't look at my life and say, oh, when I grow up, I know I'm gonna be this person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just always kind of like went with the flow, because who knew I'm gonna grow up? You know what I'm saying? So I never looked at it like, I always knew that no matter what, one day somebody would hear me. I knew that. Okay. But I can never tell you, ooh, when I was a kid, I wanted to be the law. Or when I was a kid, I wanted to be a doctor. No, I knew as a kid, I needed to be heard whenever that became the thing for me to do. You know, I don't know if it was going to be when I was grown or if I was going to be 13 when it happened. But I just knew for a fact that it had to happen. Like, I needed them to feel me. And I was like, you know, last night at this award ceremony I was a part of, one of the questions that the lady had asked, she said, what would you tell your younger self right now? I wouldn't tell her shit. I would tell her to keep going. They're going to feel you one day. That was it, because as a kid, I ran from everything because nobody felt me. And it was like, if I could talk to myself right now and see that little girl and how misunderstood she was and how angry she was, I would just tell her, just keep going. Yeah. This shit is gonna work one day. They're gonna hear you one day. They're gonna see you one day. They're gonna feel you one day. But if you don't keep going, it'll never happen. So that's like, all I think about is no matter what happens in life, I have to keep going, because that's all I've ever done. I've always turned my pain into power. I don't really know anything else to do with it.
Well, shoot, going back to the question, you low-key answered it. High-key. You said that you wanted to be heard. You said that you wanted to be felt. And from the information that I have got doing my research as an interviewer, you've definitely done that and touched a lot of hearts, a lot of ears, and a lot of eyeballs have seen. So I feel like you may feel like you got more to go. We all do. But I can honestly say that from the question I just asked you and the answer you just gave me right now, you doing it. And I'm proud of you. And here on the hot seat, we give flowers. That's why the flowers is to the left and to the right. You see what I'm saying? This is what this is about. So even though I'm just meeting you, I want to say that I'm proud of you and congratulations for everything that you've done and everything that you're going to continue to do. Let's keep going, all right? How did you get the name Englewood Barbie? And what does Englewood mean to you?
So, real quick, not deep story. Like, I was supposed to be on this reality show back in the day.
Okay.
And I was living in Englewood at the time. And the manager was just like, you're so cute. We should call you Englewood Barbie. I was just kind of like, I'm not really from Englewood, but I live in Englewood.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of rolled with it. And then people just started embracing me.
Okay.
People even that's from Englewood that live in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't born in that hood.
Okay.
Englewood is where I found my mother at.
Okay.
Okay, so like once I found my mother, then I became a part of Englewood because I kept trying to remain attached to her. So I would pull up on her. I lived with her for a period of time. It's where I met my old man, and you know Justine. That's my block. Like that's even though I wasn't born and raised in Englewood, when I think about the hood, I think about Racine and I think about Justine.
Mm-hmm.
Racine is where I grew up till I was 12.
Okay.
And Justine is what turned me into who I am today. Because I found my mother in Englewood when I was 18 years old. She was high, you know what I'm saying, at McDonald's, leaning. I hadn't seen her, you know what I'm saying, since I was a little baby. But I knew that was her. And I was telling my homie, like, yeah, I think that's my mama right there. She like, that's a yeah. That's your mama. And I'm just like, oh, my mama, that's my mama, Joe. Like, we look just alike. So I got out the car and I walked up to her and she was like leaned over. And I was like, Mom. And she got up and she was like, you found me. And it was like, from that point on, I was in Englewood. It was like, where else did I need to be? Like, this is what my mama was. So I ended up burying her to an overdose of heroin when I was 25. And from that point on, I jumped off the porch and I ain't let nobody put me back on it.
Okay, so when I ask the question, what does it mean to you? I see that it's way deeper than what it seems at face value, and it's actually some sentimental value within. Like, that's pretty deep.
Everything's.
And the good thing about asking questions is because for me as an interviewer, you really never know what answer you're gonna get. Mm-hmm. Some things that you think that might be something just quick, oh, my cousin called me that. It could be way deep, or it could be something that you think is deep that's actually something very quick, you know what I'm saying? But that's raw as hell. That's raw as hell, and that's very inspirational too, because when you were a child, right? Because I ain't grow up with my father. Could have walked past me, wouldn't known it was him. Detroit is like my second home. I love Detroit. I don't know what it was about Detroit, but there's something about Detroit that just made me feel like I've been there before. But as family members die and as happen, you learn different things about who you are and who you come from and your stock within yourself. And inadvertently, going to a funeral is when I actually found out where my father
vocabulary.
was. I got a little some college graduate.
Okay.
Sociology with a minor in psychology,
Okay.
a little some, but all jokes aside, I could feel where you coming from when you were saying that even though your friend was kind of doubting that was your mom, and you peep like, nah, that's my mother, because that's how it was with my father. Like, he's battling alcohol addiction, right?
He's alcoholic.
Right?
Probably what it is.
But he's still here. But it's crazy that for me, as brave and as smart as I think I am, right? Me seeing him, like, bro, this is part of who you is. You see what I'm saying? And me looking at him made me want to go hard because bro, if you don't tighten up and be who you supposed to be, that could be you. And not the alcoholic part, not being there for your kids. Having 5, 6 brothers and sisters you don't know nothing about. You see what I'm saying? So I just feel like in life, when we get those moments that seem like an out-of-body experience, especially when it comes from our own blood, I feel like you really got to read into that and hold on to it and keep going, which is what you're doing. So that's kind of why I went on that soliloquy a little bit, because I was kind of in that same space where I'm like, yeah, I think that's James. How you know? You ain't never met him. I'm like, I know that, but I done seen pictures, you feel me? And we in the area. And then my little brother and them coming up the block in Detroit like, yeah, that's him. We don't mess with him. But that's him right there, sitting there drunk. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like we could use it as fuel, and it make us better parents, and it make us better brothers and sisters and family members. You know what I'm saying? When you witness different situations like that and understand how they play out. But let's segue a little bit. What would you say has been your toughest challenge throughout the journey with everything that you got going on right now? Now, to be more specific, it could be for what you're doing in the community. It could be something internal. It could be something that you wanted to see happen but didn't have happen. It might have been roadblocks. It might have been gatekeeper. It might have been anything that's on your mind that you feel like has been the toughest challenge throughout your journey with everything that you got going on. What would you say that is or was?
So just being like transparent.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's a such thing for me as the toughest,
Mm-hmm.
because all of these obstacles that God allows me to maneuver through be tough as hell.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't say this was the hardest, or this was the hardest, or this was the hardest. There were so many different parts of my life where I had to pick myself up.
Mm.
I had to heal myself, or have myself. I've taken so many very, very, very important losses during this journey of trying to help people. Losing my mother, losing my old man, losing my street son, losing friends, losing my niece. Like, just being attached to so many amazing people and them not being able to see who I've grown into, because I'm not the same person. They wouldn't even recognize me right now. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, it took for something to die to birth something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know for a fact, like, if my mother didn't die, I probably wouldn't have been as vulnerable as I was when I found out Tyshawn Lee was murdered. And that got me up out my bed like, no, this thing happened to a kid. Had I not already been vulnerable for my mother, I'm not sure if that would have struck something inside of me. But it did. So it was like, losing my mama, never really dealing with the grief from that, just keeping myself busy. Then losing my street son, then losing my old man, losing my niece, and just continuously taking loss after loss after loss after loss, and finding this strength within God to like continue my assignment, to continue to moving forward. I think moving forward in itself was the toughest battle for me. Not exactly a situation of loss, but the fact that no matter what is going on, I still have to figure out where that strength is gonna come from for me to be who I'm supposed to be, no matter what happens around me. And that's probably been, and still is, the hardest. Because even last year when I had heart surgery, who wants to be on bed rest? Who wants to go under this knife and let these people, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I went through a lot of health scares last year. Last year I spent majority of the year in and out of the hospital, wearing heart monitors, being, you know, it was just like not a good situation for me. But I had a good team of people that not only love God, but that fear God. And they held me up when I couldn't even stand up on my own 2 feet, literally. My machine held me up. So I think that the people you surround yourself with is very, you know, instrumental to who you become. Because we all like to say, oh, I did this myself. I'm self-made. I'm a one-man army and all this and all of that. But in reality, you didn't do any of this yourself. The only thing you did yourself was get yourself dressed. You didn't even wake yourself up.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying? You came outside with this plan, and everybody around you helped facilitate that plan, and everybody around you helped keep that plan going. Even when you wasn't able to keep it going yourself. So that's why last night when I got my award, no matter how it went, I shined a lot on my team, because it's easy to say I want Englewood Barbie, but what about the people beside me that hold me up, that make sure this going when I can't?
That's right.
Those are the people that I rise up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I feel like who you are, it definitely determines on who you around. And it starts with what you believe about yourself, because if you have a hard time believing in some shit yourself, how you gonna convince somebody else to believe in it?
Say that.
Nobody understands your vision until you bring it to life.
That's right.
So I spend a lot of time on bringing my shit to life. And whoever with me when that's happening, I make sure that they know that they are a very important person to me, even if it's just for a season.
You just cook with that last one on a slight, even if it's just, see, I knew this was finna be a, hey, stop playing. You understand what I'm saying? It just got me hype. I love deep thinkers. I love people that really know what's going on. You hear me? And the way you articulated that answer, I couldn't even imagine, but I didn't doubt it. Because I personally feel like attracts like. And when you see kings and queens out here, you know it. You can't fake aura and you can't teach it. You understand what I'm saying? So I definitely salute and support that answer. Let's segue a little bit. Speaking on having things going on, right? For the ones that don't know, hugs, no slugs. Could you give our viewers some insight of what that is, what inspired it, and how they can support it?
Hugs, no slugs simply means more love, less killing. So anytime you out here helping your brother, helping your sister, like genuinely helping them, like that's hugs, no slugs. I started my organization, like I said, when Tasha only was money. I really didn't understand or really know how to get out here and do nothing that I'm doing. But I knew for a fact I was getting out here. Whatever I had to do to be in the front of this shit, I wanted to be in the front of it. I didn't just want to be the one they called when somebody got shot over here, or a little girl just got killed, can I help with a funeral? Oh, we finna do a vigil over here, damn, the vigil just got shot up, I'm covering kids. I got sick of that being in my life. I wanted to be more instrumental and more effective in the way that we as a culture can progress moving forward. So it was just like, marching, all that shit, hey, all hail Martin Luther King and all of that, locking arms. But then what? You know what I'm saying? I did all that. I didn't block the streets down. I didn't block the expressways. But then what? I stopped marching because nobody had nothing to counterpart what we were doing.
Yeah.
It was like we shut down this street, we go create this madness, and we stop people who've been at work all day from getting home to make this point, and then tomorrow there's no more of a point. So it was like I was only attaching myself to people that was really adamant about change. And then I really couldn't find people that I felt was adamant enough. So I had to become the change that I wanted to see. And once I started doing that, I started feeling good about being a solutionist, like someone that wasn't just waiting around on the government to do this or folks them to do this. I was an activator. Like, whether it was travesty or a grace story or whatever it was, like I was just naturally activated. And that was just God's grace over my life, because I did not plan to be this person that I am today. I knew that I would be somebody. I never knew that somebody would be me. So I don't take that for granted. I don't take my platform for granted. But I also let people know I'm a real motherfucker. I'm not one of these people that's gonna put on this suit and talk from these cars. No offense to you, because I know you got your questions.
Oh yeah.
But I'm talking about people that sell their soul. It's a difference.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that's gonna fold under pressure or influence. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I knew that God appreciated that about me. That's why he positioned me in such a way that I could do things unorthodox, ghetto and hood as it may be. It's my
authentic.
way. It's my way. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be like nobody else out here. I don't have any idols. I don't look up to anybody. I admire people. I respect people. I'm proud of people. But there's not one person that I can say, when I grow up, I want to be like you. When I was younger, there were people in my life that made life easier to see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I've always just wanted to be someone that other people could depend on. Yeah. I wanted to be that person. So I feel like God has tested me so much over the years with like different gifts and curses.
Yeah.
Just to see how I would maneuver through. And I'm just praying that the way that I do things is still acceptable for him. But regardless, I'm going to continue doing them until it's over with for me.
The right way.
So
you hear me?
I just hope that God continue rocking with me.
I like that. 100. So let me get my posture right before I say what I'm finna say. Dr. Alita Clark. I'm gonna say that one more time. Dr. Alita Clark.
No vibes.
How did it feel to receive your honorary doctorate as a humanitarian from the Global International Alliance?
You know my real answer.
Yeah, keep it all the way 100.
So when I first got the email about this
Yeah.
unbelievable award, I responded with, I don't need this. I don't do this for that. You can give it to somebody else. I don't do this for them. And then I screenshotted it and I sent it to somebody else that kind of knew what this really was. And they was like, girl, is you crazy? That is one of the highest levels of appreciation. Don't do that. Don't shut down what God got for you. That's one way that God is just saying thank you to you. When I was just like, I don't need no doctorate for this. I don't want no trophy and no statue for this work. Like, this is like drinking water to me. I just want people to help me do this shit. Like, I just want more bodies, not more awards. I want more people next to me doing this shit. I want it to be easy. I want to go home and be able to sleep at night knowing that you got it and you're going to do it the way that it needs to be done, where everybody is feeling loved and respected. I don't need that title. And everybody was just kind of like, you slow as hell, bro. Like, walk the stage, G. Like, this is your flowers. And I thought about it in that moment, like, damn. Did I seem ungrateful? I wasn't trying to be. I was trying to be transparent and saying that I'm not looking forward to this type of accolade for this type of work. I'm just looking for people to help me do it. So when I got up there, I'm not gonna lie, I was more impressed with finna fuck my lashes up.
It's all right. Look, we all brothers and sisters here. All right, take your time. It is okay.
I was more impressed with seeing that people that love me was willing to fly out of town to support me. I can count on one hand how many people came to my high school graduation. Can count on one hand how many people came to my grammar school graduation. So to see damn near everybody I loved except one person. Oh man, I wish I could have swallowed my pride back then so she could have been there. On the plane to go to Atlanta just to see me walk the stage. That meant more to me than the degree itself.
Say that.
Like I'm so grateful that God felt like I was deserving of this honorary doctorate, but what got me was seeing people show up for me. I'm talking about my high school counselor. I'm 35 years old. My high school counselor was in the building. He got on a flight. My godmother, my children, my friends, my man at the time, like everybody, like my sister who was in the group home as one of my group home staff, but she never looked at me as a client. She looked at me as a little sister. She got on a plane. The staff that I, you know what I'm saying, didn't even like back then, who I thought was a total bitch, got on a plane to see me walk that stage. Amen. That meant more to me, still to this day, than the actual degree itself. And because of moments like that, when I show up for my people, I try to show up in ways that they never fucking experienced before. Like whatever you need, I want to make sure that I'm the one that's going to do it to the best of my ability because I love you. That type of shit makes me want to go hard like that. And then people look at me and they be like, oh, Barbie do so much. I know she got it. She's straight. She must be rich. She loaded low key. She know all of them. Nah, it's been times I couldn't pay my rent recently. Gas was off. Me and the kids got candles around because the lights ain't on. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sending my kids to my friend's house to take showers because I'm trying to save up to pay for the gas bill without getting evicted, and still ended up getting evicted, but the gas was on, so it was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit wasn't a couple years ago. This shit was just last year when I was going through this. So I'm never ever going to be in a space where I'm too good. You know what I'm saying? That's why when people got shit like this and shit like this shit mean a lot to people. This shit don't mean nothing to me. I go into the Vidoc with this shit because this is just shit that I have. It ain't no flex. I don't got a lot of jackets, but the jacket that I do got happen to be a Miri. That a Miri don't mean shit, but the fact that I need to get the Club 51 do. So if a Miri coat is what's on my back, then so be it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, the journey continues no matter how far up you go. If you believe in God, he's gonna strip you every chance he get just to make sure you are still up to bat for him. Mm-hmm. Has the mission changed? Is it about you now because everybody know your name? Or is it still about me? Because if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't even be here. Wouldn't nobody know you. Matter of fact, I could snatch life out you right now. Wouldn't nobody even think about you next week. So I never forget who put me here. I never forget who gave me these assignments. And no matter what and who support me and don't support me, I'm still gonna go. When I die, they gonna say that lady did this shit to the end. That's all they gotta say about me. And she loved God and she led with him. So what more do you need? I live a real fucking life. Sometimes it's up, most times it's down. But when it's up, it's really up.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying? When it's down, it's really down. But no matter what, I got my machine, I got my babies, and I got God. And with that, I can't go wrong. I don't give a fuck. I like myself.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying? I only like myself because of everything God had took me through. And look at me. You wouldn't even know what I went through. Because when you look at me, you just like, she bad. Whole time, I'm so much more than bad.
Say that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, me being bad is just, it's the icing on the cake. Being bad got me in the door. Who I am, keep me in the building.
In the building.
So I'm very honored to even be in a space where I could feel like that. Because that ain't everybody's story. Sometimes being how you look is all you got. Mm-hmm. Now in today's society. If you got a bag, you just the money man. If you a big body, you just a nice body. That's it. But what is the impact? Have you been impactful since you've been here? If you go right now, what they gonna say besides you was bad? What they gonna say besides you had money? Who the fuck did you help get some? Did you put anybody else in position? Did you take care of your family? So you just died with money. You didn't die with shit.
Say that.
So I don't want to be like that.
And to jump in, when we were talking about the doctorate, right? And you were saying how you ain't do it for the awards and different things like that. Do you really think Martin Luther King was out there in them streets so he could win the Nobel Peace Prize? No. The people who are real doers and that do it for the right reasons are the ones that get it. And one of the main things that I want to highlight with our conversation on that topic right there, you got to think about who you giving hope with. See, me going to college, it was never my plan. I wanted to cut hair. My granddaddy cut hair, my cousins that got out of jail cut hair. I'm really from the bottom. So when I say you can't fake aura, when I look at you, I don't think it's just bad. I can also see pain. I can see intelligence. I can see clever. I can see quick. You get what I'm saying? To be able to read somebody, people judge people about being sensitive, but I don't want nobody around me who ain't sensitive because that means that you ain't feeling. It's danger around the corner and you can't even sense it. You see what I'm saying?
Ooh,
you see what I'm saying?
You ain't with that one.
You see what I'm saying? Like it's a real thing, you know, like.
That was good. I'm writing that in my notes.
Hey,
Not
keep
for
that.
Real. I'm writing that.
But on the real though, so when you like, yo, I ain't doing it for this, I ain't doing it for that. Same thing when I got my degree, I didn't know what I wanted to study. I asked my AAU coach, like, hey, you got a nice car, you got a wife, you got a crib, what you went to school for?
I don't want nobody around me that's not vulnerable because it could be danger around the corner and you couldn't even sense it.
Marcus, but everybody call me Soup. YK Soup.
YK Soup. Soup.
Yep, SUPE.
Yeah, I got you.
Hold on to that. This what we do here. But now, all jokes aside though, like when you got the young ladies.
People drop gems, I pick them up.
Say that. That's what keep you wise. A person who never gets tired of learning, who never gets tired of listening. So as I hear you talk and the energy and the conviction that you're speaking with, everybody ain't that passionate about self, their purpose, and God.
Everybody's not supposed to be, and I think that's where we all go wrong. Like when you see black people, you think, oh, that's my brother because he black. You're a lie. He's not. It's not your brother because he black. That's how we want to feel, but that's not the truth. You don't know what his upbringing was. You don't know how you feel about it. You don't even know if he liked being black. So stop identifying with people you don't know until you get to know them. Once you get to know them, then you can identify with them. All that, he black, I voted for him because he black, that's not really for us no more. Like, what research have you done on this person? You know what I'm saying? Like, I really been like trying to teach my kids, like, don't be the one that all you can say is you did this because this person was black, or you went along with it because I was your mother. Like, no, nigga, you better have your own mind.
Do your own
because
research.
when it's over with, it's only gonna be you by yourself, and you gotta figure this shit out. So you gotta know how to figure it out. And you gotta start now. And it can't just be so easy as because it's a man or because it's a woman or because they black. It gotta be because you did your due diligence. You figured out what type of person this person is, what type of service record they got, what kind of track record they got, what type of what type of
representation?
No, what type of reputation they have,
Reputation,
and if it precedes them or not. And then you decide whether or not you want to be in bed with them. So we always just jump in bed with people because they got something going on or because they are color, but that's not really our people.
Hey, something that I always say is you gotta understand somebody's why. Before I deal with you, before I throw a title on you, I have to understand your why. So that way I can know that we can coexist tonight. So earlier, I remember everything that I say when it comes to these interviews, and I was like, we all brothers and sisters in here. I don't use that lightly. If I think somebody's a piece of shit, I'm gonna think you a piece of shit. You get what I'm saying? I could be wrong, but that's my interpretation. But once again, you cannot fake aura. It don't take me that long to be able to read. I know what he about, I know what he about, I know what he about, I knew what you was about before you even opened your mouth. From what was out there that you couldn't force to manipulate me. You understand what I'm saying? You was who you was before you got here. So when you say, I ain't do all this for the recognition, I ain't do all this for these awards, I ain't do all these, I feel that, which is why you here. So in the beginning of the interview, this a whole different type of era up here. I'm like, because we don't want to bring nobody up here that doesn't coincide with the things that we represent, because that can confuse the youth who we trying to uplift. You understand what I'm saying? Let me move forward though, because we can give 100 bars on that, but congratulations on that. I'm proud of you, and it's a lot of young women, a lot of people. It ain't males, females, fortunate and less fortunate that look up to you and what you got going on. So sometimes we may not.
I don't use that terminology.
Less fortunate?
I don't, because we all are less fortunate than somebody.
So it's different levels.
And I just don't use it at all because it hurts.
It do, but even with that, it's like you got some people who got all the money in the world, and they're less fortunate. You want to know why?
So their soul is empty.
Not even just that. Let's just say a kid whose parents is millionaires, and they got this mansion, and they got all of these clothes, and they have all this, but mama and daddy ain't never home, and they're alone. But then you got some kids that's from the hood who may not have had a lot growing up, but they actually got a chance.
They got community.
My grandma in the house, my cousins is all here, this, that, and the third. So I honestly feel like being less fortunate is a state of mind. Like, I don't dump that. She got more than him. He got more than them. They the less fortunate people, because God can do and change everything. I done seen the richest fall, and I done seen the underdogs come up. That's what we represent, mud, motivated underdog. When we wear our chains and we shine, that's what we represent. You see what I'm saying? So when we be
I'm
like,
just saying that I would never identify.
Call somebody, yeah.
I would never identify a group as less than, because that would put me over them, and who am I to say I'm over them?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we both saying the same thing.
But just
right.
two things can be true. Yeah. Because it's all about the definition of how you can fit it.
It's just like a white person could call you a Negro, but he didn't mean no harm. He just saying, this my Negro brother. Like we say all the time, this my white friend. There's nothing wrong when we say that shit.
Facts.
But if he say, this my Negro brother, what you say? You just go, here, nigga. He don't be like, well, but it's the programming. You know what I'm saying? So I just, like even with me calling the friends and trying to get people to understand how demeaning it is to identify somebody by their situation. Like if you was a short guy, and I was like, whatever, little motherfucker. You'll be like, damn, G, my name is Stan, bro. Stan, say it with me, STAN, bro.
Facts,
Stop calling me little motherfucker because you are short. And it's like, oh, now I gotta be the buddy of the joke. But see, with the friends, people call them the H word. You're reminding them that they don't got shit. They need you. You're gonna do something life-changing for them because they don't have anything. So when I'm out there, I try to make sure that people are equally on the same level. I don't go out, like I said, I might have this shit on, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't out there with this shit on every day. This shit don't really mean absolutely anything to me. So when I'm out there, I'm making sure that the friends know, like, bro, I don't feel sorry for your ass. I love your ass. It's a difference. I love you because you in the dark space. And because I've been in dark spaces before, and I know that if you just keep going, you could really get out of that shit. So I'm out here to encourage y'all, but I ain't gonna force change on y'all. I'm gonna come out here and love y'all ass back to health if that's what y'all want. But if y'all don't, I'm gonna bury you.
Say that.
Either way it go, I'm with you. So,
I'm just... And you don't know everybody's story too. Like, man, I know you. It's some doctors. You don't know what happened. House could have burned down. Wife could have. You don't know. So I feel where you coming from with
and
how
you
broke
think,
that down.
Like, a lot of people like people that's used to the struggle. Mm-hmm. If we lose everything right now, we're gonna be mentally fucked up. We're gonna be angry. We might get in a couple fights, but we're gonna bounce right back. Whereas somebody who's used to having everything all the time, when the stock market crashed, when they use that government job that they've been having for 15 years, that's been providing for their family and paying their kid tuition, guess what? That's too fucking much for them. Now they're going on a trip down by the lake as a fucking family. Everybody going in the water because they're not used to that type of trauma. You know what I'm saying? So not having shit ain't always a curse. You know what I'm saying? Not having shit teaches you how to appreciate the small things. Mm-hmm. So then when you finally get up there, you are you're not an imposter to this. Like you know this is real for you. Like no matter how up I get in life, it's never gonna be a chance where I can't just come sit around my people and just do absolutely with them. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel like that's how a lot of us feel too. Yeah. We always feel like when we make it, we gotta go back and let people know we still good. We still here with you. No, the f- I'm not, bro. This part of my life is done. But I don't mind still. I'm not big enough to come. I'm not too big to come to your house and kick it with you. But that don't mean I want to do all the same shit. Like,
we ain't doing what we was doing.
I ain't on the block no more. I ain't on the block no more. You know what I'm saying? So when we started elevating, when God started taking us to these places that we didn't even see ourselves going in, you have to equip yourself with a different type of mindset in order to maintain that. And a lot of times we don't do that. So I hope that even me, like I'm still growing every day and developing every day, and I don't have it all together and I fall all the time, but the fact that I'm willing to get up and I'm gonna continue to get up is the reason why I'm gonna always be good. And that's what God wants for me, so I wanted to say this.
Amen to that. And there's something else I would like to highlight. Let me fix my posture before I say this. When you were honored as a Ghanaian princess of the African diaspora on June 24th, 2023, how did that even come about and how did it feel? Because I know you ain't doing this just for the pieces of paper and the trophies and the plaques and that, but that's royalty, bro. Plus, this is global.
Go ahead, call me your grace. Come on, call me your grace.
International. What did he say? She's your say to me. I wish I had plucked these flowers right now. But all jokes aside, how did that feel? How does it feel? This is what we land in some way. Let them know, man. Let them know how it feels, how it came about. I really want to know because that's a beautiful thing. I still ain't been back to the motherland and seeing what I see, learn from what I learned from these brothers back here behind the camera, it make me want to go. But this ain't about me. This is about you. Let us know something.
Good. I'm glad you want to go. I want to go too. How do you prepare for something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just one of those moments where you just kind of have to be like, damn. How do they know all about the work? All the way in Ghana.
All the way in Ghana.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little sad. I was sad because I'm from Chicago. And how is it that the king of Ghana could journey all the way to America, come to Chicago to say thank you and crown me princess and give me a royal ceremony, and my own elected officials ain't never said thank you. I ain't never even got no help from them. So I was a little sad at first. I was really frustrated, actually. And then I just started basking in it. Like, damn, God, you really rocking with me. Like, this is really dope. And then I started thinking about the elevator. You know what I'm saying? And just being able to like go in front of my students when I'm in these schools mentoring and giving them an opportunity to see life in different lenses, like telling them like where I came from and how hard shit always been, and then showing them the perks of just keeping going. So like to be able to experience that, it was overwhelming. And it was the beginning of me getting sick. Because while the king was crowning me on stage, I was in the middle of a heart episode. So while I was on the stage, I was like getting sick, and the people started seeing that, and they started bringing me water, and I would just be on stage praying like, God, please don't let me die on stage, because I had never felt this before. So I didn't know if it was my anxiety, which I have bad, or if I was finna die. So I'm literally sitting on stage like trying to be cute, trying to be poised, trying to be present, but really I'm just like, I can't slow my heart rate down. I'm really hot. This is different. I'm scared. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta see this through to the end. So the whole time I was on the stage, I was in just deep prayer like, God, please don't let me die. And then the next day I was in the hospital and I had to have a heart monitor. You know what I'm saying? And they still don't know what's going on with my heart. But in that moment, it was like, that was a moment that I never forget. While God was blessing me, I was still struggling. And I still pushed through, even though I couldn't even control it. What could you do when your heart is beating out of control? Like, try to take some deep breaths, try to bear down. But in the end, if you don't collapse, you just try to keep going. And God gave me the strength to keep going and push through the rest of the event. But the next day, it was like this heart journey that I was experiencing had began. So it was a different type of time for my life. Like I was very confused as to why God thought I was just so deserving to be in a space with the king from another country, to be crowned royal. But I was so grateful that he saw and chose me to be in that space. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it was a very bittersweet moment. I just recently actually saw the king last week. Okay. At my last event, he was there, and I was so...
King to pull it up on you.
I was so surprised that he recognized me. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, right? Because he just crowned me royal, but this is the king of a country. Like, how can you remember somebody like me? So when I saw he was at the award, I'm just like, what up, King? Man, matter of fact, I walked over there like, what's up, King? He looked at me like, Alita. I was like, oh, shit. Mm-hmm. You remember me. Like, damn, this is raw. So then they sent me my official certificate. Yeah. With, crowning me Royal Princess of the, I think Ghanaian diaspora. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, this is such a wonderful honor. I don't take it lightly, and I do plan to go to Ghana at some point this year because I have to have a ceremony for me to actually receive my Ghanaian name and the land that they gave me. They gave me land. So listen to this. I've been out here for 10 years. I slept in a tent for 138 days to raise money for my shelter. I raised up to $147,000. Then one of my donors said, you ain't get your shelter, give me my money back. That was a $100,000 donation he gave me. Just a regular little street nigga off the street. I don't know who he is, but I was grateful because he came through like real player, like real on some gangster shit. Like, here, shorty, I've been watching you woo, 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 on Valentine's Day. You feel me? I'm just like, damn, this raw as hell. I'm going through a breakup, little, 5-day breakup. So I'm just like, oh yeah, this is the best Valentine's Day ever. I got a $100,000 donation to my org. So, moving forward, my manager had took us to Bali. Okay. And it was just like a Zen situation. I was just like with God, like I was smoking cigarettes heavy. Like I stopped smoking like a year ago. Okay. But like I was smoking cigarettes heavy when I was in Bali, and we were gone for like, I want to say 10 or 11 days. And I had like 3 cigarettes that whole trip. And I was just like, damn, like I was at such peace that I didn't even think to pick up a square. And when I came back, all of that stuff had transpired with the money. And I was like, damn, he thinks that I used that money he gave me to go to Bali. But he don't know I never even fucking touched it. It's just been sitting there because I'm still in my tent I'm still raising money for my shelter. But what I'm supposed to do? I'm sleeping in the tent. I got kids coming out here to support me. I got people that's driving and flying in just to come to Club 51. I wouldn't put these people in danger over $100,000. So when he said he wanted his money back, the next day I said, Pam, I don't want to deal with it. Give it back to him. I posted it on my page. I feel like he didn't think that money was there. He felt like maybe like I was like everybody else out here that just swindled through the bread, but that money was really there. But just seeing how hard I work for what I believe in, all the days that I slept in my tent, all these vacant buildings and vacant lots in Chicago, anybody could have gave me one of those lots and left it to me to build on that lot.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me it took for a king from Ghana to come all the way to America, come to Chicago, crown me a royal princess, give me a Ghanaian name, and tell me when you come to Ghana, we're gonna take you to your land? It was just like, damn. You know what I'm saying? It was like a bittersweet moment. Like, I'm so grateful for that. But it's like, Joe, I've been sleeping in a tent for 138 days raising money for a spot in Chicago to build on, to create my shelter for people that need shelter. And this guy just came out of nowhere. Never met this man, never talked to him, never nothing. And then one day you just doing all of this for me for what? What did you see that they in my own city couldn't see? So it was just like, that's when you have to remember who your provider is.
Yes. And
And sometimes what you expect a man to do, only God can. So when you looking like, oh, the man do this and the man do that. Englewood Barbie, you deserve this. Brandon Johnson should have did this. Lori Lightfoot should have did this. Ron Emanuel should have did this. First of all, ain't now one of them bigger than God, and whatever God got for me, they might not even be equipped to hand it to me.
say that.
So I have to get out of that mindset of what the mayor gonna do, what the alderman gonna do, what the people gonna do. I have to just wait on what he was gonna do. And that's been working out for me.
Amen to that. I gotta dap you up for that 2 times, right?
That was only one.
I remember the first few clips ago. Alright, so look, let me switch it up real quick. I got a question that I know you ain't been asked, and I said that before we started.
Let's see.
So let's just see. If we had a genie in the room.
I don't fuck with magic. I don't know.
That's cool.
That shit.
But nah, hit me out. Hear the rest of it. You gotta think if we were kids, okay? If we was kids, okay? And we watching Aladdin, and I'm talking about like Disney, okay? So we looking at this from a fun aspect. I don't mess with no dark magic, no none of that either. Stay with me. If we had a genie in the room, and they could grant you 3 wishes, anything your heart desires, but it has to be for Chicago and in Chicago, what would be those 3 things?
Bro, I'm not asking no genie shit, bro. I'm not gonna say, I'm just saying.
I put it like
I'm
this.
just gonna praise y'all. I'm not asking no genie shit.
So
I'm
no,
sorry.
he not asking, you not asking him.
I ain't gonna make no wish. If I had I could ask God 3 questions.
And it's gonna happen because we know how God works, right? We know how God works. But hypothetically speaking, God is always with us. Let's start there. But God asks you right now.
His people.
Right?
Let's start there because everybody ain't his people.
But this me and you talking. This ain't everybody.
Right.
This our interview, okay? If he was to ask you right now 3 things that I will grant you at the snap of my fingers right now, but it has to be for the city of Chicago, in the city of Chicago, what are those 3 things that you would want to see or have done?
Well, I would want him to show himself to people so they could believe that he was real, so they could be afraid. And if they was afraid of him, they wouldn't do half of the shit that they was doing down there. That would be my first thing.
Okay.
After that, everything would fall into place.
Fair. I like that answer. And I like how you took your time to think before you actually spoke. And for me, if I was to answer to just be straight up and down, because truth be told, there's some idiots that could see right there and still gonna move how they move or do what they gonna do just due to the simple fact of their own conditioning within. That I'm not here to judge to say what's right or wrong. But what I would say, at face value, number one, finances. There will no longer be a need for finances at all. Like the world would just be able to operate. I don't know what the substitute would be, but I would be like, no money. Like, ain't no, you got $100, I got $1,000, this is a millionaire. There is no money that makes the world go around. Something else is making this ecosystem go around, and see how people would behave and treat people. Personally, that's what I would want to see. I feel like number two, honesty. Everybody has no choice but to be honest. So the little white lies, the little things we feel like it's not that deep, me personally, this is just me, I would want to see how the world would be if you was forced to say nothing but the truth all the time. Like to the point that even if you thought to say a lie, your brain is wired to where it can't even spit it out, it would just be vomit, right? And last but not least, I would probably say love. Because I feel like love is God and God is love. Personally, that's what I feel. So I feel like I just want the love to continue to be infinite worldwide. Because I feel like that would handle a lot of the issues we have, the racism, the prejudices, the judging, the this. I feel like love covers the basis of a lot of different things. You ain't got to worry about the respect. You ain't got to worry about the vibe, and all these different things like that. That's what I would pick. But your answer, you just covered a lot in a little bit of time, and I think that's very sharp and very dope. So thank you for that answer. I got one last question, okay? Okay, for all the supporters listening and the youth that's watching, what is one message that you would like to leave them, or some free game that you would like to give?
Stop thinking everybody hating on you because you don't believe in yourself.
Can you say that one more time, just a little bit louder for me, please?
Stop thinking everybody hating on you because you don't believe in yourself.
I like that. Well, Englewood Barbie, I appreciate you for coming through, man. I just need you to look into that camera right there and let them know your social media, where they can find you at, and whatever you want them to know. It's on you.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Englewood Barbie. Y'all can follow me on Instagram as Englewood Barbie. I'm on Facebook as Englewood Barbie. Don't just follow me. Don't just watch me. Don't just like my pictures. Share my posts. If you can't donate, pray for me. If you're praying to God, and just show love. Even if you're not doing it with my organization. When you're in line with somebody, an elder in front of you, and you see them pulling out cash and they barely got it, but you got a link card, use your link card and pay for their food so they can know there's still some young, good people in the world. Just do something for somebody that can't do nothing for you but say thank you. And follow and support wholeheartedly. Don't bring that judgment around me either, because your ass gonna get trashed. We don't deal with that shit. We operate on love and respect. So if you come around me think you gonna run the show or you gonna amplify whatever you got going on, it's not gonna work, because we for the people. And the only celebrities that I'm around when I'm out in the streets is the people that's in the streets. So if you're gonna come out there to pop your shit, don't come around me, because you're gonna get your ass. You're gonna get put out.
Well, y'all heard her. That's that on that, and we standing on that. This is YK Soup, and that concludes another classic interview at the hot seat. Subscribe, like, share, follow, hit that post notification button, and go ahead and holler at us so we can give you your flowers, man. See you till next time.